Hello, everyone. I'm just laughing because I had D into chat. My copy paste is, of course, Command V, but where the V key normally is the D key. Anyway, there's a lot of weirdness going on. All right, so I spent some time yesterday doing a bunch of stuff on localization, and I made some good progress. We are down to this as the to-do list, and this is already done, so we can mark this as archived. There. So this is what we have left. And probably the only big task I think we have is maybe this one. Maybe this one too. But the rest of this stuff shouldn't be too bad. Yeah. Hey, Matt. Okay. So here's, I don't even know if I want to do this right now. I guess I probably should. Also, I don't even think I hit save over here. Does this modify something? No, it doesn't. All right. Well, this is going to be kind of an annoying task, but all of these scenes have at least one string that shows to the player that needs to be translated. However, many of them have, like if we look at end battle screen, for example, many have things that, yeah, like this, set through code. This says set through code, which means that a translator will actually see this. It'll say English set through code, and then it'll be like Spanish, and the person might be like, all right, well, I might as well translate set through code. So there would be translated text here. Instead, this should just never show up. And in order to get it to not show up, I need to not translate this entire scene file and instead set everything at runtime. So I think that's what our task is going to be. Let's just go top to bottom and find any string that needs to be extracted here. So I see this U1/loss. This is also going to be set through code. But like this, for example, change your party members' location. This process never seconds analytics high. Bet you're ready to be done? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely ready to be done with this stuff. Now, that said, I really pushed myself yesterday to get done with a bunch of the smaller tasks. I went through every of the, 12,000 lines of search results that we had for just strings showing up in the code base. I found another bunch of instances. I changed those instances. I did all the remaining difficult tasks that I had. And then I thought, okay, this is a pretty good stopping point. Let's save the rest of the grunt work. And there's sort of fun work planned for today, which is actually trying the AI for translations. I don't know how this is going to go. And I'm kind of curious about it. Hey, who cares? Hey, Sarah. That's 5 howdies. Classic 5/2. Okay, so change your party members' location. This comes from end battle screen. And this is on the tooltip. Yeah, this is definitely grunt work. And we got to find all these things here. So this is edit party tooltip. Edit party. There it is. Okay, and this is already searchable. So we probably already get this through code. We do, but just to set where the tooltip content shows, we need to also set the text. And this should be tr, whatever this is. Tooltips. Now, maybe before I do any of this stuff, I should think of whether this is a good idea. Because I didn't do that yesterday or 2 days ago. Let me think. So this would stop people from having to translate. There's another thing we could potentially do here. Yeah. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Shuffleton. You can also make chat stop disconnecting. No. So option 1 is stop translating scene files and set everything through scripts. Option 2 is still translate scene files, but use a special string every time we don't want something translated. Like ignore this. So the pro of option 1 is that our UI can still look like regular UI when loaded through Godot. You wouldn't see a bunch of set via code here. A con is that it wouldn't be obvious that you can't actually change anything in a scene file directly. These are both pretty big pros and cons. Like it's hard to say which one of these is better, which one I should consider more. And then, so the con here is that it's pretty much the opposite of the ones here. Yeah, I am torn on this. I think that modifying TSCN files. Oh, I guess there's another pro here. And that's that we don't have some convoluted deploy process of picking new TSCN files and then manually adding them and then manually generating POT files. We also wouldn't have to remove any out-of-date files from the list. Another con is that it's sort of tedious to fetch a node from a script only to set text on it. And another con here is that any strings set through the TSCN itself would automatically update when changing locales. Yeah, this is really tough. Hey, Mohit Kumar. Welcome back. I don't know what to do. I mean, if I were to kind of rate the things that I actually care about, this is nice. This I don't really care about. This is important. Yeah, that's it. So it's just this pro and this con that I really care about, I think. Hey, Mars. This will probably eventually get fixed. Well, maybe I can't say fixed. They can never figure out which strings you actually want translated. Hey, Goose. That's the 6th howdy. Oh, man. I don't know. Yeah, this is pretty obnoxious. And this we could just... I'm leaning toward option 1. Wonder if we can set up some automatic node system to apply the translations, like a translate parent or something, and then some mapping somewhere. Not sure how useful it would be. I don't think it'd be useful. And that's why I don't list this one very highly, because the way I look at this is how many people will want a locale different from their system? And then how many people will change it more than once in the entirety of the time they're playing? And it's very cheap for us to just say, restart the game if you still see English. And then it would just fix everything. So given that this takes like 10 minutes to do and the refactoring everything would probably take a lot longer and modify a bunch of code. I mean, for option 1, so we don't need to call get node.txt. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. Buy stock and howdy. Yeah, or maybe some... I don't know. It'd be so nice if there could just be... Like, there's already a localization section over here, which is behind my head. But all they have is this option. Localized numeral system. It'd be nice if there was just a check mark saying, like, just ignore this thing. Don't try to localize it. Localized TSCN file. Is there a way to tell it to ignore? Where's their official documentation on this? Yeah, here. Scene. How to add comments for translators or exclude strings. Oh, well, look at that. Built-in editor plugin recognizes a variety of patterns in source code. If the plugin extracts unnecessary strings, you can ignore them with the no translate comment. You can also provide additional information using translator's comment. Can you do this through a scene file, I wonder? Because if so, that's not bad. I don't mind doing that. Let's try that out. So let's go to, well, I guess we're already there. We're on end battle screen and we see we see change your party members or location. And I haven't done anything else here, right? Okay, so let's just comment that out. And let's go generate this script file or whatever it's called. So I just click this and this and this. Okay, so that should be generated. And now if I go to scenes, we should see change party member. Yep, there it is. So change your party member's location. Can I put this into editor description? That doesn't sound right. I don't think you can put comments anywhere else. I'll try it. I don't think this is gonna work. I'll look this up in the issue tracker and see if that somehow does something. No, it's still there. Yeah, could you somehow ignore this through scene? Ignores tooltip auto translate mode. Oh, wait. Oh, is that what that setting is? Maybe that's not what it's supposed to be used for, and maybe that's what they're going to say, or maybe this was just fixed. Completed. Okay, maybe we can just change that then. All right, so delete this. And up here, auto translate, we set to disabled. And then generate this again. Oh man, if this is the case, then this is totally fine. I don't mind this at all. This is like the best of both worlds. Please be gone, please be gone, please be gone. It's not gone. Oh man. All right. What do we do? Maybe it's just modifying scenes.pot. Change, what's it say? Change your party members. Change your part. Yeah, I think it is gone from here. So it just didn't modify this file. What does modify this file? Oh, our generate thing does that? And then I got to figure out which one of these it was supposed to be because I don't actually know. But yeah, if I run generate on this, we now get this file, which deleted that string. Okay, this is not bad at all. I'm very glad that I thought about this for a little bit longer. So now let's just make certain that that's what's doing this. So I'm going to set this back to inherit. And now we're going to generate this again. In fact, let's do this. Let's click this button. So now we can see, oh, it changed a bunch of stuff. Well, whatever. We're going to click that button and then I will generate this again and we'll see that it should have added the string, I think. Scenes.pot. Yep, there it is. Okay. Yeah, nice. Wait, what does this do for us? Yeah. This'll work. Okay, let's write this down. This is incredibly important. Finding strings in your TSCN files that should be translated. Or an obscure property name. Well, and I guess I misunderstood what this would do. It's called auto translate and it's got a mode here. I guess we could just open the documentation. Defines if any text should automatically change to its translated version depending on the current locale. Yeah, this documentation is super clear, but yeah, I would not have guessed it from the name of that property. For the root node, auto translate mode can also be set via this. Can I click that? No, I was expecting that to go to the settings. Internationalization, rendering, root node, translate. Okay, so we can just search for translate here. So this is where inherit comes from. Okay, yeah, whatever. Actually, you could do this for entire subsections here. Kind of interesting. All right, I want to get to this documentation in the online docs. Nice, they have a thing for that. And then I want to link directly to that. And then we gotta write a bunch of notes about this. So this is pretty good. All right, so Godot supports this out of the box. If we look for, I don't know where that was. Oh, here. Yeah, here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so Godot supports the extraction of strings directly from the editor. There are some caveats. One is that at the time of writing, there is no way to do this from the command line. And then I have a note there somewhere about this proposal. Yeah, here. Okay. And what else? let me say this. So any files that show in localization, POT generation, localization, POT generation, have no validation. You could have a made up path there and Godot would never tell you. This means that you need to maintain the list of scenes to be translated. Any other caveats? I don't think so. Yeah. If you want to exclude a particular string from being translated, you would simply mark the nodes. You would simply change the nodes auto translate mode. Where's that? Auto translate mode, yeah. Auto translate mode. It's set to inherit by default. Should probably capitalize that. Well, it's set to auto translate mode inherit by default. So you can exclude entire subsections of a scene tree by changing a common parent to disabled. That's a bit cumbersome and typo prone. What is? Because I was going to say changing this thing is just a checkbox in the UI. So there's no potential for typos here because you can only choose inherit, always, or disabled. The file paths. I might be misunderstanding something. This is the other reason I don't get to do much. It's just like, oh my God. What a great picture. Oh man. Nothing like reposing Katsos. Your second bullet point, possibly I misunderstood. Oh, this isn't so much about typos being a problem as you being able to change a path somewhere. So like, let's say you have this, there's no typo here. And then you're like, you know what? Let's move end battle screen to a different location. I don't think it's going to update this. So like you might rename it to final screen or something like that. And then this dialogue will never change and you'll never realize that you never generated new strings for this. And just too bad. So yeah. Hey, Cruddlefish. All right, simply change the node's auto translate mode. It's set to auto translate mode inherit by default, so you can exclude entire subsections. This is useful when you know you're going to set text dynamically through code. We have a bunch of UI that looks like this. A bunch of UI that plugs in your adventurer's class name. And with 10 classes, I think it's probably, we don't need an example for this. Just very cumbersome. Yeah, to maintain at least. To set it up once isn't too bad. So if you want to exclude a particular string from being translated, simply change the node's auto-translate mode. It's set to this by default, so you can exclude entire subsections of a scene tree by changing a common parent. Useful when you know you're going to set text dynamically through code so that you don't need to... What are they called? Sentinel values? Sentinel value. Special value used to indicate the end of a sequence or absence of validate. Yeah. So you don't need to use a sentinel value like this is set via code in the editor and can instead use representative placeholder data like mage even when you don't know the... I'll just leave it like that. Hey, partial data. Yeah, it has been a long time. How have you been? What's been up? What's new in management? The one cat can sleep with its arms just hanging like that. Oh my God. When Kevin and I went to the cat shelter, we saw this cat sitting like that. And it was just such a funny pose to me. And I think I have a picture. Let me see if I can find it. I've probably shown this on stream, but I still love it. Yeah, this picture. Kevin, I'm assuming it's okay to show your hand on stream. All right, well, I'm going to assume that that's a yes because he streamed himself. But yeah, this cat. Look at this cat. Look at that confident pose. Blur his fingerprints. Hey, Raven, did you do Type Racer before? Yeah. I've even done it on a piano. Okay, cool. So I'm very happy about this news. This is great because this allows us to go through and just change strings in a much more easy to use way. We do still have to go through every single string, but it's at least a little bit better. All right, so what is this? This says change your party members of location. Okay, so this one is not going to be set to, how do we translate mode? Oh, this isn't going to help to do things this way, is it? Because I need a couple of things to show up here. So I guess we can just favorite one of these. Auto translate pin value. Pin is not what I want. Favorite is what I want. Yeah, favorite. Favorite puts it at the top. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I haven't really shared my words per minute. Just leave it to viewers. All right, so we have to go through every scene still, but we know this is going to be a little bit easier than it was before. So any place that we have something like set via code, we can now change. So this U1/lost, that's result label. Result label. This should be not translated. Oh yeah, I guess a caveat of this. Well, I was going to say, if we ever do put something here like battle ended, then we would need to opt into translating this again. But yeah, that's a fact of life. Okay, so that one's fine. Set through code, that's repeat tooltip. Repeat tooltip. Disabled. All right, what else? Set through code, auto repeat tooltip. Yeah, this is going to be the next like 45 minutes of our lives. Your party's walking to the portal. That one's fine. Duration, that's fine. The amount of, well, this is probably fine, right? It might actually get updated. Duration label. Yeah, this is translated through code. So we actually do want to mark that this is not supposed to be translated. Amount of time the battle took, that's a tooltip, that's fine. Average DPS, I think that's the same thing. I think this is set DPS label. Yep, it is. Okay, so don't translate that. DPS. Yeah. Oh, good. Sorry, partially. I missed your answer. You've been well? Glad to hear it. Yeah. Yeah, I've been working on Skeleseller for a while now, and we are probably about 3 months away from launch, which is feeling pretty good. But yeah, there's a lot of work to do. Okay, cool. So if we were to generate this again, which, it'd be nice if there's a slightly faster way to do this. I guess it's like 5 clicks. Then we'll see that we've now deleted a bunch of strings from here. Nice. Yeah, I like that. Riven, did you watch the video? It sounds like you just skipped to the end, but you should watch the video. Wife and I found a new fun way to work. We started going to the library most days and working there to get us out of the house and into a different environment. Yeah, I really like doing that, except my limit is about an hour. And it's probably because I'm working on sort of boring stuff when I'm there and with no break. And yeah, after an hour, I'm just like, okay, my brain's on fire. I'm going to go. Okay, so we've done 1 out of how many of these? Some of these might be a little faster than other ones, but yeah, here are all the remaining ones. All right, well, let's go get all that stuff down. So project.TODO, and then we look for end battle screen, and we find all of these strings and paste them over here. Find the commas, do that. And then paste this onto the list. And mark one of these done. Yeah. Okay, now for game credits menu. This one's pretty small. Game credits menu. Yeah. So what do we have here? Oh, all of this stuff should be translated probably, right? Except for the names. Game credits menu.tscn. Yeah, like this by extonymous. I mean, technically that needs to be translated. The link wouldn't change. Yeah. So team should be translated. That should be translated. This one shouldn't be. So we can disable that. Primary artist. So yeah, this disable, 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 and disable. Yeah, because none of that's actual anything that should be translated. Now, this I'm not totally sure about. This is the name of something. Do you translate things like that? Like Super Retro World, if it weren't a name, you would translate, but if you were reading this in Japanese or Chinese or something, would you expect it to be the English text? You wouldn't? Okay. All right, so then let's not translate that either. Okay, so I think that's all good. Yeah, nice. All right, next up is game settings menu. This, I think nothing here is dynamic. So I think every single thing should be translated. Except for placeholder, maybe. Did you get the close button too? The close button should be translated. So as long as I don't need to do anything, like if it's going to be translated, I don't need to touch this because inherit is going to make it be translated. I learned a month back that Atlassian will be discontinuing their data center products, meaning everyone has to migrate to their cloud. Oh. Are you thinking of switching to like a self-hostable open source version? Because I'm guessing they're going to start charging a subscription. Yeah, this one I'm not totally sure about. Language menu button. I'm assuming we add... It says placeholder right on it, so we probably change this. Yeah, we set it to the locale. So yes, this should not be translated. But by changing it, if we set this to disabled, is this going to cause a problem when you change the language in the game? It probably doesn't. Yeah, I can't imagine it would because you're the one changing it. So if we change this to Spanish and then save and then go back, yeah, it's still Spanish. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. 2028. Wow. Well, at least that's enough runway to move off of it. It's kind of, yeah, I'm kind of surprised they're doing that much runway for it. Maybe there's a contract that requires them to do that with most of their customers or something. Like, hey, we're going to pull the rug out from under you, but we have to give you 2 years ahead of time notice before we do that. Okay, anything else here that's not... I think music interval is also set via code. Yeah, I think it is. Yes. Okay, so we don't need to translate this. Disabled. And then the rest of this should be fine. We have some other controls in here too. Where are those? Where are those? Oh, they're there. They're already showing, just that this isn't checked. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, and maybe window mode? Is game scale a string too or a number? I think it's just using the built-in spinner. So I think it should be a number. Yeah, it is. It's got values and stuff here. This one might also be the same way. Let's take a look at this. Yeah, we set the text here. I don't know if I'm... This would imply that we have to have the word windowed in a translate call somewhere, which we probably do. Ooh, we don't. Okay, well, my bad. All right. Translate windowed. Gonna be window modes, I guess. Yeah. Okay, I think we're done with this now. So that's game settings menu. Just gotta keep going through this. All right, next up is in-game menu. The only set via code is here. So disable that. And then this skill tooltip. This has no text on it. Huh. I wonder... I wonder if this shows up in the translation file from this. Skill tooltip goes here. We should find it in that POT file. We don't. That's... I mean, there's a label there, but it's not in this scene. Interesting. I don't know why that's not showing up, actually. Unless you make editable children when expected to show. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I guess because we can't set the text through here, so the text isn't in this scene. All right, the rest of this is fine. So that one was easy. Loading screen should be dead simple. Yeah. Oops, what am I doing? Loading screen. Yeah, there's literally, what, one label, and it's here, and this is dynamic. So we just disable that. Okay, done with that. Title screen. Again, title screen probably should be straightforward. I keep going to project settings. Title screen. Yeah, all of this should be translated. Let's look at it through code. Yeah, text story mode. Oh, actually, this shouldn't be translated because we dynamically change story mode to be play game. Huh, so this button is going to be excluded. Let me make certain of that. Story mode button dot text. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Interesting. Bone mode we never change. Quick game we never change. The rest doesn't actually have any text on it anyway. And anything else? Open the game settings. Join us on Discord. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Nice. Done. Walking to portal. Oh, look at that. Set via code just popping out at us like that. Cool. And that's probably it. Any other strings in here? Debug speed up. Okay, that we can ignore. Where is that? Right there. Disable. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to cut down on the translation burden. I'm so happy I'm doing this. Town menu. Okay, this one's very tough because practically all of this stuff needs to change. The money label and the sludge label. This doesn't have text here, so that's fine. But yeah, probably all of this. It's going to be a little bit difficult. All right, so we got to search for battle map button dot text. Or wait, no, it might not have been called that. It is called that. But we never set the text of it. So that one gets translated. Okay, that one's fine. Now what about this? Toggle skill tree button. That's also fine. Some of these should be dynamic, right? Because I think we put costs into here. Town perks, for example. Yeah, this changes. Okay, so we don't translate this one. Level up perks, same thing. We put a cost into there. Build, we put a cost into there. Hire adventure, I don't recall. Do we change the text of this? We do. Okay, so disable that. Toggle perks. Oh, except for what if we only do this in one mode? Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I did not think about that. So we technically need to set the text no matter what. Yeah, hire adventure button dot text equals this. Which if we're going to do that, then I need to put this into dialogue strings or button strings. No, dialogue strings. Hire adventure button. Yeah, so now replace both of these. The dialogue strings. Import it. Oh, but I did that for several of these, didn't I? Building perks. Oh man. Yeah, we only set the text in challenge mode. Yuck. Fine. Well, technically, we only need to set the text in ready. I don't need to do this every single time. So wherever I just did that dialogue strings thing, this can go in ready. Yeah. And we would do this for several of that. The build button, for example. This is why I said this one is going to be annoying. Yeah, building perks button dot text equals. Maybe I shouldn't even put this into dialogue strings. It's only used here. Use any async await, or is everything sequenced by event calls and actions? There's a little bit of async stuff, but not very much. I don't even think this should go into a different file. I think it should just be saved in this file. Maybe just make some private static thing up there. Private static hire adventure button. Translate doesn't exist? Oh man. Okay, translation server.translate. Web dev first people had no problem slamming asyncs. I think it all comes down to what do we need it for? So, for example, there's one network call in the entire code base, and it's for the metric server, and that's probably going away. That's probably asynchronous. And then we have a bunch of stuff that we say, like, we can't do it this frame, so do it next frame. And then that could be asynchronous. And that's about it. Then there's some Godot built-in stuff that's asynchronous, like reforming the navigation mesh. Hey again, Athena, welcome back. But yeah, other than that, we don't really need a lot. Whereas in the web dev world, how much can you really do on a website without contacting a server at all? In fact, even just getting the website itself would have had you contact a server. But then, yeah, any sort of button you click that gets new content or you submit a form, that all needs to be done by contacting a server, which could take any amount of time. But yeah, in a single player game, you just don't have that. Well, not very often. All right, so hire adventure button, and I guess the build button. This is just going to say build. All right, so dialogue strings, we got to change that. Oh, whoops. Build button. Yeah, I should probably say text on it. Okay. Text, and then what do we do? Do we delete it from here? Yeah. Okay, and then I go modify build, which shows right there. To be build button text. Okay, cool. So we have two more of those. Yep, town perks and level up perks. So let's just copy paste them both. Then put this up at the top. All right, so this is going to be town perks button text. Town perks, and then level up. Got it. Now all these things need to be moved somewhere. Probably here. And it's going to say that we're not using this stuff, and then we need a space here. Yep. Okay, that's fine. We refactoring. I've always tried to. I always try to keep the today command up to date. We are cleaning up some localization stuff. Here's a summary of what we're doing. We're going through every single scene that we have translated strings for, and we're marking any strings that shouldn't be translated. So it's very tedious work. We've made it down to here right now. So we've gotten done with that many, and we have this many more to go. Hey, hard worker. All right, so now I want to set this for the other update perks button stuff that we have here. Yeah, this stuff. All right, so this would be town perks button text. This is level up perks button text. And then we copy paste this into ready and set this dot text equals that. And then this dot text equals that. And delete the extra lines. Okay, so I think we're done with that. Now we just mark those. So we start up here. Town perks disabled, battle perks disabled, building disabled, and higher adventure disabled. Okay, good. Now what about this? Toggle perks. We never change the text of that. Quest, we've never changed the text. And buildings, I don't think we do. Buildings button dot text. No, we don't. Okay. So those all get translated. And that's it. Tooltips are all fine or no? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's... Oh, some of these might be custom. Yeah, this says set through code. Okay, so disable that one. How many other ones are custom though? Tooltip.text. Can't just search for that. Toggle skill tree button tooltip. Toggle skill tree button tooltip. We don't actually set the text through code. Oh, there, it's called set text. Okay, so let's search for set text on the other stuff. That's just that one. Okay. How's C# integration in Godot now? I think it's pretty good. I think the only major shortcoming with C# and Godot is that there's no web export supported. And in parentheses yet, because they are working on it. So yeah, if you were to make even like C# Pong, nothing complex, and you're like, okay, I'll just put it on itch and I'll use the HTML5 player that they have, you just can't do that right now. But if you were to use GDScript, you could. And eventually you'll be able to with C#. That is a pretty major drawback for some people, especially if you want a demo to be easily playable. Like how many people are going to go download something and run it? And it's not zero, but it's also not as much as the number of people who will just play something in their browser. All right, so I think we're done with this. Next up is in battle screen. Is that it? Just wave text? Disable. Is that it? Maybe I shouldn't even be looking at this in the scene itself. And I should just look through strings here. Turn off auto battling. You can always re-enable this at the end of battle. Auto battle tooltip. Huh, interesting. We set the text differently. Interesting. This is going to make this obnoxious. Yeah, this is going to make this obnoxious. Does this ever even show up? Turn off auto battling. You can always re-enable this at the end of battle. Yeah, maybe we're lucky and this just never shows up. All right, so we need auto battling. We got it. Now we start a battle. And then we go look at this button. Yeah, I don't think this shows up anywhere. Yeah, I don't think it does. So if we go fight in the canyon, it says, yeah, okay, I don't think this shows up. Tooltip, set via code. The nice thing about a sentinel value and setting this to disabled is if anyone ever sees set via code, they're going to be like, oh, that's a problem. All right, any others? One other set via code on the flee tooltip. Right there, click disabled, and we're done. Good, that one's all finished. Next up is intro.tscn. This probably has almost no strings. Yeah, it has a skip button. Skip button. I don't think we... Oh, we do set the text. To really skip question mark. Well, let's just set it through the script anyway. Yeah. I don't know, actually. No, maybe not. Yeah, maybe not. Okay, so we'll just keep that one. Yeah, we'll keep that one. Okay, that one's done then. Intro accept quest. This one has quest accepted in it somewhere. I don't know where that shows up. Quest accepted. Here it is. This text does need to be translated. And there's a space there. I don't think that's... Maybe that was to push something to the left. Maybe that was a mistake. I don't know why that space is there. But yeah, this should be translated. Okay, well, whatever. Yeah, I think we're done there. Okay. Yeah. All right, well, these are easy. Intro battle. What are we doing in this one? I think this one says poison somewhere. That might happen through code, though. Yeah, I don't see any strings that actually show up to the player. Yeah, I need an antidote. Okay, that needs to be translated. And that's it. All right, so that one's fine. Intro shop. I don't remember what text is even in this one. This is probably a bad way to try to even find this. Hey, LJ, what's happening? Working on some localization stuff, going through a bunch of scenes and trying to find strings that shouldn't be translated so that we don't waste translators' time. And it's very tedious. It's very annoying. Editor description? I hope it doesn't pull those out. 1 month later. Okay, that's the only text that shows up here. I should probably just watch the intro again. In fact, don't I have it on YouTube somewhere? So I don't even need to... I guess we're finished. It doesn't matter. All right, okay. Adventurers, panel tab. Okay, this one's a beast of a scene. This one's probably going to be one of the most difficult ones that we have. So much of this stuff is set via code. Hey, Sirius. How you doing? All right, so we're going to try to find anything with text like this. This says, I love that we put set via code because it makes it so obvious. We don't need to look at anything if we see that. We just mark it disabled. Character level, that's almost certainly set through code. In fact, almost everything in here should be dynamic. So I guess we can just disable the whole thing. No, but not tooltips. Tooltips might be the same. I think fortitude, for example, probably doesn't change. Although maybe it does. Power tooltip says set via code. Okay, there must be some reason why we did this. I don't know why. Power tooltip.text set text. Power text? What is this? How much power, most damaging and healing abilities get better as power increases. Do we ever change this? Yeah, we do. Or at least it looks like we do. So yeah. It's been a long time. Yeah, I don't even have message history for you. We were talking about people who followed a long time ago. You've been following since 2016. It's crazy. Yeah, welcome back. We show the bonuses there too. I don't recall. I think we show those in guild supplies. It doesn't seem like we ever changed this tooltip, but it also is. I'm happy that it's set via code because it means less work for me to do right now. Yeah, so we just got to mark pretty much all of these disabled, but I do need to check them one by one. Okay, this one is not set via code. Character dodge tooltip. Dodge tooltip. Yeah, it doesn't show up anywhere. Okay, that's fine. So that one actually does need to be translated. Haste. I'm guessing the haste tooltip also doesn't need to be set through code. Yeah. Lifesteal. Presumably the same there. Yep, cool. Thorns. Nice. And level up button. Disabled. Tooltip set via code. Cool. Anything else? Skills label, innate skills. This presumably never changes. Yeah. Now we have skill points. That does change. Number available set via code. That's fine. Reset skill points. That's fine. Wait, no, maybe that's not fine. Why do we fetch that? Oh, for resetting the visibility. And the debug button we don't need to translate. Tooltip on that we also don't need to translate. Tooltip on this refunds all your skill points. This is free. Blah blah blah. Okay, that's fine. And panel tooltip. Cool. This is Godot. Yeah. Hey Grulis and hey Krasner. All right. So if we were to just run this again, you'll see more and more strings getting deleted from here, which is nice because it represents a lower translation burden. So now here are all the new red lines we have. Look at all that red. That's good. That means we don't need to ever maintain this because we're already maintaining it somewhere else. So yeah, I'm hoping we trim down even more of this stuff. How do you stay motivated to work on a project for so long? You know, I just wrote down yesterday that I should make a video on this at some point because someone asked me, how do you stay motivated while developing your game? And I wrote video idea talking about the ups and downs of development. So I've kind of got an answer here for a little bit of this, but for one, actually for me, streaming has helped a ton. I stay on task and I stick to a schedule. Yeah, the schedule part is important. Streaming has helped. I think having an audience that expects this sort of thing is also good. Their expectations could help you stay motivated. And then I wrote this here too. So I do game dev for a living. So this is my job. And streaming, I do about 20 to 25 hours a week. And then I do some game dev off stream. But for anything that I don't do full time, so any hobby that I have, I think this question becomes more important. And it's probably why people ask this, like, how do you stay motivated? Like, I want to do game dev, but I have a full-time job. So how would I stay motivated on game dev? And for that, I think the best thing you can do is just shrink your scope. So if I were doing this game as a 3-hour a week kind of thing or a 5-hour a week kind of thing, I would not make Skeleseller. It's going to take from start to finish about 2 years of basically full-time work. So that's not to say you can't do it if you're doing it 3 hours a week, but it's going to take much longer. And there's a trade-off point too, where if you're working 20 hours per week and you cut it down to 1 hour per week, it's probably not going to take you 20 times as long. It's probably going to take you even longer because now you're waiting in between these sessions. You can't build enough momentum. So it's probably going to be like you're multiplying your roadmap by 40x instead of 20x. So yeah, I think that's where to shrink your scope. It's like, well, instead of making Skeleseller, I probably would have made some, a mobile game or a shorter game, smaller game. Any downside to using C# and Godot? Any missing features? Yeah, I just mentioned this, but you cannot export to the web from C# right now. But that will be coming in the future. So yeah, ELJ, if you have any other questions about that, feel free to ask. So we're done with the Adventurers panel tab now. Now we need Choose Town Perks panel tab. I guess let's look at it through here. Choose Town Perks panel tab. Reroll, is that the only thing? We have a tooltip for it. I don't even think the reroll button is needed. I'm pretty sure I just changed this. This is, oh wait, what? That's what I meant to click. Disable. But the reroll button itself, I think, is also set via code. Reroll button dot text equals, yeah, right here, update. All right, so disable that then. So now this entire scene is not needed. I got to look through this and I got to see, oh man, I should have been doing this as I went along. Maybe we can start doing it now. But now there are no strings in this file that need to be translated. So it just shouldn't show up here, right? Like if we hit save, which I don't know if I did hit save. So now we see a green line there. Auto translate mode is 2. So now this text is ignored and auto translate mode is 2 and that text is ignored. And now there's no other text in this file. So we go remove it. Choose Town Perks panel tab right there. I think this is the only one. I hope so. I mean, I guess technically there's no real downside to listing a file that's not going to have any translations. It's just going to take a millisecond extra. Hey, Lion, any tips for stopping using AI a lot? Like a lot? I kind of wonder. So if you ask something like, I don't know, how do I quit gambling? At some point, the answer is stop gambling, but it's not that easy. So I'm guessing you're looking for the subtext here, because stopping using AI is like, well, you just stop using AI, right? You cancel your subscription or you block ChatGPT on your network, or you do something like that. But you're asking like, how do I ease myself off of it, or how do I cope with not having it? I think it's build your critical thinking skills and your research skills. And I think it starts with like, how would I solve this problem? And then after you then like go tackle that plan. And then after you're done, ask, did that work? How could it be better? But yeah, there's no secret or anything. Also, you don't even really need to think back that far to before you were using AI. No one was really using AI more than like 3 years ago, or at least not for anything serious. So just what were you doing 3 years ago? How did you research things then? How did you look things up? All right, panels, top bar. No, did I just change the scene? I don't think so. All right, panels, top bar. I guess we can look through the diff. Is there anything in here we need? Just money and wisdom sludge. And then the labels themselves are set through code, so we can disable that and disable that. Oh, this doesn't even have text there. Never mind. Nope, inherit. Okay, but the labels, I don't know. And we probably never do anything about this. So yeah, I think this one's already fine. Okay. Guildmaster Battle Nudge. Oh, wait, aren't there tooltips? Oh, but the tooltips are in the scenes. Yeah. All right, Guildmaster Battle Nudge. This one has text. Yeah, now that you have an adventurer, send them to battle, but that's it. That's the only text, and that should be translated. So this one's fine. Then there's Start Battle Nudge. This is exactly the same thing. It's got some text. Click Start Battle here. Yeah, I don't see a problem. Then autoplay notification, again, same thing. This is dead simple. There's just a single label right there. Your adventurers fight automatically for you. Sounds good. Available buildings menu. Like, do what I want, then see if it's good and safe or like better way. I don't know what this message means. But I think what you're saying is this is what you use AI for, is like have it do a task and then review it. And yeah, if you don't want to be using AI, then you wouldn't do this, right? You wouldn't have it do the task at all. You would just do it yourself. Or if you want, you could flip the order of it, do it yourself, be happy with it, then ask an AI what they would have done and compare the results. And if the AI is frequently doing it better, then learn from that. That could also be fine. I wonder if anyone was asking back in the day, how do I stop using this Google thing? I need to go to a library. I doubt it. Yeah, because I feel like that was just saving time and not necessarily saving effort exactly. Whereas I think with AI, it's like, hey, I want to offload my thinking. I don't want to phrase this thing correctly. I don't want to code this thing. I don't want to whatever you might be doing. Sort through this data. And doing that keeps some of your skills sharp. And yeah, that's what I mean. I do it, then check with AI. Oh, I see. Yeah, I think that's okay. If you think that that's hurting you for some reason, then yeah, stop doing it. And maybe what you could use as a substitute is just, I don't know, have a longer like feedback cycle for yourself. So let's say you're making software and let's say you encounter a bug, do a retrospective at the time that you encounter the bug and be like, okay, what was I thinking? How did that happen? How do I stop this in the future? Because what you're doing is you're doing a shorter feedback cycle of, okay, I coded this thing and then AI is coding it this way. How do I compare those two things? But those happen very short, one after the other. A bug might not appear for months, and it could appear in AI code too. But I think the point is, if you found a bug in your AI code, you'd just be like, well, the AI messed up, and you probably wouldn't take responsibility for it. Whereas if you find a bug in your own code, you have to take responsibility because you know that you wrote it. I like going to talk with friends in this stage if I'm not sure what would actually be better. Yeah. Yeah, I wonder how much we're going to see humanity shift back toward the human aspect, really. I know that sounds kind of silly, but I was kind of thinking, is there a world where tech exists but doesn't dominate people's lives? And I thought the answer is yeah, it's the 1990s. Like the internet existed, people didn't live on it. Video games existed, TV shows existed. It wasn't like hyper monetized at that point. It was still nascent enough. People still went outside. I feel like in a scant about 30 years, things have changed quite a lot. Just quite a lot. And I wonder what they'll be like 30 years from now. All right, so what do we have over here? Available buildings, new buildings, and yeah, so none of this stuff is even accessed by name. So I think this is all good. Unfortunately, this is going to happen quite a lot. There's going to be a close button in many different scenes, and I think translators are going to see it show up a bunch of times because it won't the editor won't know that this is the same close button. We could do something about that, but I don't really think we have to. Speak for yourself. My days were spent on Doom mods all those days, and I never went outside. I make a deliberate effort for that to be my life when work is done for the day, but I feel like a Luddite most days. Why? Also, doesn't work involve tech? I don't, yeah, I don't. I think we need some contrast in our lives. Like if you're sitting at a computer all day, I think getting away from a screen, doing some exercise, those sorts of things, I think those are helpful. I think kind of the same thing where if you're interacting with a computer all day, socializing is probably a pretty good thing to do. Hey, Ankabara. Same thing happened with handcrafted versus machine-made craft. Handcrafted pottery is trendy now. Yeah, and I like that there's a cyclical nature to a lot of these things. Like tech doesn't have to go away or necessarily fade into the background for everybody. But it'll be interesting to see how the dead internet theory changes how people use the internet or how people interact in real life. By the way, this theory, if I'm correct in summing this up, is pretty much just there are more bots than humans now online. So you don't know if you're even interacting with a person. But Adam, I don't like most people. I also don't like most people. I would imagine most people don't like most people. And I think, I know this is tongue in cheek, but I think it's about finding the people you do like and then trying to be more tolerant to the people you don't like. Like there's a noisy person in line next to you and you're just like, well, I won't let it get to me. Much easier said than done. Game version label. I think this all needs to be translated. But maybe we... Yeah, the label itself doesn't need to be, but the tooltip does. Oh, actually, this is going to be a problem, isn't it? I didn't think about this. This is set to inherit. So, oh, I need to change these. Oh, man. Yeah, because now this won't be translated. This says click this to open. Okay, let me test this because I'm pretty certain I messed this up just now. I'm going to just generate this. It says click this to open Skeleseller. Click this to open. Why is this showing here? That doesn't make sense, right? This is set to inherit from the parent. The parent is set to disabled. Do I not understand how this works? Never translate. What? Yeah, I'm inheriting and never translate. Why is it translating? Oh my God, maybe it's because of how tooltips work specifically. The text is set via... No, how does that work? I don't understand. This is just a rich text label. Yeah, I don't understand how this is working. Well, so not all content is made and bot consumed. Yeah. That's true. It's not just the comments and stuff you read online. It might also be the content you're reading those comments for. Okay, I'm gonna go take a break really fast, but I'm gonna say where I left off, I have a parent node set to disabled, but the tooltips are still translating. Why do we need to change the inheritance of tooltips? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go take my break. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again. Kevin was trying his hardest. All right, who did I miss here? Dean Emder. Welcome in. And I think that's it. Okay, I'll close the game. So I don't have an explanation for why this is happening. We see this tooltip. Click this to open the SkeleSeller folder in your file manager. We see this showing up in this output. And I wanted to, but I don't understand why it's happening because the mode is set to inherit and the parent is set to disabled. So doesn't that mean that this should not be showing up? Let me generate it one more time and just make sure and mess something up here. Okay, so it's definitely been generated. And this is definitely still there. Okay, let's try something else. Let's disable this one too. And then generate it. And now I definitely expect it not to be there. Yeah, it's gone. So why is that happening? Now I'm going to inherit it again. And we're going to save this again. And we're going to generate it again. And it's probably going to show up. And I think this is just a bug. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why this is happening. I think this is wrong. Auto translate mode. Inherit is always generated. Yeah, this is the issue, right? Oh, this is only fixed in July and I'm using a version from before this, right? I think so. Oh, wow. That's going to be a challenge, isn't it? I'm on 4.4.stable. I don't know what that's from. But this is fixed as of July 30th. Milestone 4.5. Yeah. Oh, that's tricky. That's really tricky. Oh, that's really, really tricky. Yeah, so explanation, this was a bug that has since been fixed, but I'm on an old version. Oh, that means and I gotta go look through all these old scenes now. Hey, Kazoos. Cherry pick and rebuild Godot. I think I'd still need to look through all these things. I mean, it's not that hard. I just need to look for things that I changed to have any children under them. I'm new to game dev. I'd like to ask a question here because I don't think AI will help in this case. Trying to do solar system through simple rotating C# scripts on Unity, and I have some spheres in Skybox only, and FPS is 200. That's really low considering what's in the game. I mean, it could be any number of things. For one, your VSync could be turned on and you have a 200 hertz monitor. I doubt that's the case. Yeah, there could be some limit on FPS somewhere. That's maybe more likely. And yeah, it could be something based on how you're doing things. Maybe there's a performance improvement you can apply. But yeah, without seeing code, without knowing the setup you have, it's hard to know. In general, whenever you hit any performance problem, it's profile and yeah, solve any problems you see. So if you profile and you're like, okay, this is coming down to this shader or this whatever, some script that you have. It's like, okay, well now try to find out where in that shader, where in that script, and can I do this more efficiently somehow? And chances are the answer is almost always yes, you can do it more efficiently. Because if all you have is a very basic project and yeah, you think you should be getting like triple the frame rate, then yeah, there's probably something you can do because like AAA games somehow operate. It's not limited. Yeah. So yeah, you need to profile what you're doing. If you have shaders, just turn them all off, see if that helps. If you have some scripts, try just cutting out like half of them and seeing is that improving it. If you have a profiler, just use that because it'll point these things out for you. All right, so this is due to a bug. We need to go through and look through everything again. But this time I think we can look through anything we changed. So it's anything auto translate mode that we don't want the tooltip to have been translated. So anything under result label. In this case, nothing. In this case, this is a tooltip. Tooltip shouldn't have anything beneath them. This is battle duration, which does have a tooltip. So yeah, we have 3 problems here and battle screen. The tooltips all need to be always. Okay, cool. So we double check mark this one. Then we go to game credits menu. And we have URL, name cell 1, and name cell 12. I don't think any of this stuff should have been a problem. Yeah, because we don't have any tooltips in here, right? Title cell. Yeah. None of that should have been a problem. Let's take a look over here. Yeah. Good. I guess I should probably write this down. Frequent a frequent pattern in ScalaCeller is that a label is dynamic and should be set to, but its tooltip is constant. As a result, the tooltip needs to be set to this, or else it will inherit the disabled state of the parent. As an example, picture a label that shows health, which would clearly be dynamic, but the tooltip says how much health you have, which never needs to change. Increase by drinking potions, something like that. Now it's really done. Okay. Game settings menu. Man, this is so obnoxious. All right, language menu button. Does this have a tooltip? It does not. Okay, no, it's fine. Window menu button. Does that have a tooltip? Nope. And music interval button. This one should have a tooltip. There's a tooltip in here somewhere. Oh, the tooltip is on the text. Ah, okay. So then this one's fine. So what do I have next? Oh god, just all of this. Fun, fun, fun. This has no tooltip. That's fine. Auto battle tooltip itself. That's fine. Fleet tooltip itself. That's fine. In-game menu. Shortcuts label. Sure. Loading screen. That one's okay. Title screen. Story mode. Doesn't have a tooltip. Walking to portal. Party section. Intro accept quest. I just deleted a space. I didn't even change anything other than that. All right, now we get to the tricky ones. Adventurers panel tab. Okay, so in a lot of cases here, we have disabled, 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 disabled. We need the first enabled one. Yeah, here. But it's on a disabled thing. So this needs to be set to always. As does this. As does this. In fact, I wonder if it's better to just set it to disable on the root and then set enabled wherever we want. Ultra done, Omega done. 5 done combo. Hey, Raimu. Disabled and disabled. Okay, so we made it all the way to the level up button. Level up button. Okay, so anything beyond this, I have not looked at. Num available skill points. Where are you? There. Disabled and disabled. Okay, that's fine. And then the last one is debug grant skill points and it's tooltip. Perfect. All right, so we double done this one. So stupid. All right, that one's finished. Toggle tooltip. Town perks button. Town perks button has a tooltip though. And the tooltip never changes. Did I already look at this? I did, yeah. Okay, so this is wrong. This is set to always. Disabled inherit. This is set to always. Always. What a life. Okay, town menu. Where you at? Where you at, town menu? Where's town menu? Why don't I see it here? Did I not put it on the list? How did that not make it there? Oh, there it is. Oh, this isn't in alphabetical order. All right, I was looking below. Game version, and it has a tooltip. Okay, so this is game version label. Game version label. Tooltip is always. Nice. And that should be it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so how many more of these do we have? What is that, like 9 of them? Let's keep doing it. Instant slot toolbar. Okay, we got a title, set via code, disable. It has a tooltip, set in code, disable. We have buttons, but they all have icons. So there's no other text in here, right? Yeah, no other text. But there are tooltips. But I think that's fine. All right, so when we upgrade Godot, update Godot, updating Godot. Here it is. Make sure none of the translations from scenes.pot disappeared due to this bug being fixed. Where's the bug here? If any do disappear, then it's because we need to mark a node's auto translate mode as this. Good. There. All right, where are we at? Instant slot toolbar. Any other text I missed? Just these two, which I've modified. Oh, hey, minimize button has it. Oh yeah, we already looked at that. Yeah, tooltip should be fine. This is why I wrote this note, because I'm pretty certain this will be okay, but we won't know till we upgrade Godot. Next up is item action menu. Here we have one label set in code, and that's it. Okay, so that's done. Guild supplies. Guild supplies has a label guild supplies. Okay, so this one's probably fine. Then we have this stuff. This has text. This should be disabled. And then a tooltip on the parent set via code. Disable that. Can we remove item action menu completely? Yes, that's a good call. I was not paying attention to that. Due to having no translations. Yeah. Okay, so guild supplies is next, and I do have this label that needs to be translated, so I think we're done with that. The tooltip we already marked. Okay, good. Next up is challenge mode end screen. This is another difficult one because there's like a million labels in here. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. All these labels. Ugh. Okay. Well, let's get to it. So title text, business succeeded. I think your business always succeeds, so I actually don't think this is ever modified. Title text. We get it, but do we do anything with it? No, we don't even need to get it then. So let's delete that. Oh, wait. Oh, this is protected, which means this must be something that you can inherit from. We don't ever. Oh, I think I used to have a win screen and a lose screen, and now we don't. Yeah. Hey, Zup. Yeah, it should be March, which is like the latest in Q1 that we can still target. Adam does make a good point here. Adam always makes good points. Yeah, so we don't need the title text. We don't need this. We don't need it to be accessed by a unique name. And then this can be translated. So we're good there. Next challenge label. This is definitely disabled. Summary. What is this? Margin container. Oh, interesting. Okay, now what do we do? Now we have like a billion different things here. So time value is disabled. Its tooltip is also disabled because it's a through code. Target gold, totally fine. Money value, disable. Difficulty, disable. Upgrade points, disable. Tooltip. Yay, we're making progress. This number includes perks that you started the run with. Why is this accessed as a unique name? Town perks tooltip. Because of that. Okay, that's fine. So we do want to set this to always then. Battle perks value, disable. Tooltip, always. Disable and disable. All right, then we have the continue playing and a tooltip on this. That's all fine. And then this, which is fine. Good. End screen is done. Objective details. Title. Does it ever change? Title. Label. Set the text to the scenario number? Really? Wow, okay. So disable that one. Goal, this is definitely changed. Time has to be changed. And tooltip is changed. So this entire scene is not needed. Challenge mode, objective details. Meta perks tab container. So we have 4 left. Where even is this? Perk points label. Oh, probably at the top. Hey, Slimelands. Just joined. Wanted to ask, why are you going through all the labels and telling them it's disabled? So what we're doing here is focusing on localization, and Godot has 2 ways of doing this. One is through scripts, and the other is through scenes. And the scenes are all or nothing right now. The problem is that we have a lot of dynamic text. So imagine something like health showing as 4 out of 100, and it says 4% in parentheses. We're going to need to set this through a script. So when we show you in the, let's say I made a new scene here, and let's say I just add a label in here, and let's say I just type in health of whatever, health 4 out of 200 or something like that. So if I just save this and then add it to the scenes to get generated, a translator will now see this string in the scene, health 4 out of 200. And they're going to translate it to whatever their word for health is, and then probably keep 4 out of 200 there. But this never shows up in the game. This is just for the sake of the editor showing you a placeholder. What's going to happen is a script is going to set this, and we want to translate what the script does. And that's going to have a translate health call of like 0 divided by 1 here. And then it's eventually going to get formatted somehow. So that's what we're doing here, is cutting down on the duplication. And by having done this so far, we've removed a whole bunch of strings that just like they just don't show up anywhere. So yeah, all of this red that you see on the side is now removing translation burden for us. If any of that doesn't make sense, feel free to ask. I'm happy to clarify. I don't know what context you have, although I assume you're a developer. All right, so anything else we have here? Refund. Where's the refund button? None of this is even visible. That makes it visible. Okay, so that sounds fine. There's a tooltip for that. That's also probably fine. Do we ever change the text on that? No. We actually don't even use... Oh, no, we do use this. I was going to say we have to. All right, so that's okay. What about this? Refunds all your upgrade points. This is free. That's also fine. So all that looks good. Do we have anything that's changing here? Where's this title text? Where is that title text? Is it part of the root scene? No. I don't know where that title is coming from. I can't figure this out. Where is that in this scene? Meta perks tree? Ah, there it is. Title, label, and subtitle. Okay, so this one's fine. So yeah, I don't think there's anything in here we need to translate. Close button doesn't actually have text. Oh wait, no, I'm wrong about that. It's the refund button. Yeah, we need to translate that. Okay, so then this one's fine. Didn't know this existed. Yeah, it's so the overall conclusion of a lot of this stuff that I'm doing is tackle localization as soon as you know you're going to finish your game. So if you're on a 2-year journey through your game and at the 4-month mark, you're like, this is a solid game. At that point, start localizing. Don't wait until the 1 year, 9-month part. Actually, it hasn't been 1 year, 9 months. It's been 1 year and 8 months, I think. So I exaggerated. But yeah, it's easier to do earlier on. And I don't think you should do it before you know you're going to finish your game. So like when you're prototyping something, probably don't localize anything. It's just going to slow you down. All right, so this one's finished. New challenge run screen. Let's go take a look at that. New challenge run screen. Okay, this has a lot of text, so almost certainly something here is going to stay. Yeah, like intro text. That can all stay. This upgrades, that's probably fine. Perk points label is not even in the scene. Choose a scenario. Does that ever change? Choose label. Why is that accessed by a unique name? Because we hide it in some cases. Okay, sure. That's fine. Decrease difficulty. This is a left arrow. This technically does not need to change. But yeah, this doesn't really need to change. I'm just going to disable this. Scenario title. This is disabled because it's dynamic. Yeah, the right arrow we're just going to leave. What is this? Unlock the next scenario by completing this. Okay, so this one should be always. Best time label. Disable that. Challenge description. Disable that. Start button. That's enabled. And I think we're good. Yeah. And now we have 2 more. We have perk choice. All right, so we just disable this one. And then we have perk points label. Perk points label. This has a label here, which is disabled. And then a tooltip. Your upgrade points. Earn these by completing whatever. Okay, yeah, looks good. All right, so that was it. Now we call generate on this again, and we'll have even fewer strings. I'm not doing this in phases, so we can't see just the new ones that have been deleted. But yeah, so the file used to be 882 lines, now it's 629. But if I click the plus here, it's actually going to show up as probably being bigger than it was originally, but marginally bigger, only 11 lines, because I just didn't run this in a long time. Yeah. All right, let's go review the diffs. So we removed a few of these. A lot of what we see should just be auto translate mode equals 2, auto translate mode equals 1, and that's it. Those are the changes. Every once in a while, we changed a little bit of a scene, I think. Yeah, like this, set via code. That's fine. This got rid of a space. Yeah. Yeah, so we're seeing exactly these changes I talked about. We are setting some of these to 1. That's not probably... Wait, setting it to 2 and setting it to 1 should be fine, but not setting it to 0. Do we ever set it to 0? Because that shouldn't happen. Auto translate mode equals 0. No. Okay. All right. I don't know what I was thinking. Where'd those search things go? I want to go back to exactly what we were looking through. Yeah. Oh, I scrolled to the top. Okay. Well, let's keep going. Yep. Okay, now it's fighting me. I'm trying to scroll down and it's scrolling back up. Yeah, we're going to eventually get to... here we go. All right, so caught a translate there. Why is this gone? Oh, because I wanted to test setting this through the script, and I decided not to do that. Yeah. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Let's go check that in. How can I be removing them? The bonus is already so big. Why bother? I get like a $3 bonus every time someone subs. Probably also run the generate tool when you update this file. Is stream choppy for anyone else? Run the generate tool when you update this file. What file are you talking about? Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. The .pot file. Yeah, that's true. I'll write that in my notes over here. Mention to run the generate tool after generating the .pot files from Godot. All right, so all these things are staged. So this is going to be go through or like process all .tscn files. I have removed a ton of strings that shouldn't be localized. Godot has a built-in way of doing this through auto translate mode. So thankfully, this wasn't terribly hard. It did take an hour and a half though, and I did not expect that task to take that long. Okay. Well, what's next? So this is all done. Yeah. Let's archive this. All right, back to here. So anywhere we say something like you have enough money to hire another adventurer, click the hire adventurer button. I say we should parameterize this. I think this would be ideal. So here's what I think this should look like. This should look like this. We should have a string.format here. And we say like dialog strings.hire adventurer button. And then instead of click the whatever, we just say click the 0 button. This is what this should look like. And that way we can always point to exactly the button name and not need to update it in 2 different places. This does a couple of things. One, what I just said, so we don't even have to update it in 2 places. But 2, it means translators don't have to, so it reduces their translation burden as well. So the question is, do we do this? I think the answer is yes. I think I'm just trying to find a way to convince myself not to do it because I don't want to spend the time, but we should. So let's do it. So hire adventurer. Oh, except for this might have special text, right? Hire adventurer button text is here. But we customize it with... No, this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. Oh, man. Okay, let's reload. Isn't this fun? Isn't all of this just so much fun? All right, so this one should be made public, I suppose. Yeah. And then we can use that from here. So this will come from town menu. Good. Okay, and now we just need to find every other instance of this. So I think if we search for / quotation mark, we should probably find all of them. And just search in CS files here. Yeah, there are only 59 results. I mean, I say only 59. If all of these represent a piece of work, it means that at most we have 59 pieces of work. But some will not represent extra work. So you can find info about these in the perks tab. Perks tab, what is this? This comes from pressing P in bone mode. Yeah, I got to figure out where this shows up. Gotta just keep expecting localization to end. Can't even click this anymore. Okay, that's not good. It's not even producing an error. Uh-oh. All right, well, gotta go find out why that's broken now. New challenge run screen has the start button. New challenge run screen. When you press it, does start run true? Is this even getting hit? It is. Okay, so now it's going wrong here. Show unspent points, so something is not listening for this correctly. That's here. Now we hit the play button. So what's going wrong here? it's apparently showing the dialogue and I just don't see it. Is it in a different part of the... Oh, there it is. Okay, well, that's new. What? What caused that? Yeah, how did this get behind there? This was working the other day, and I didn't change the ordering of anything, did I? Huh. So where is this? Is it on the title screen? Why did a whole bunch of files get modified? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Because I didn't change any of this, did I? I don't think so. Dialogger is there. New challenger on screen is there. So yeah, this makes sense that this would be broken this way. Did I just change this? Maybe I did. I have no memory of this place. History. Okay, so I modified it on these 2 times and fill out story mode. All right, let's see what changed. View code at this point. I want to just diff it. Is there a way to do that? Man. I guess I'll do it this way. All right, so it's title screen.cs. So we scroll down to the file chooser. Did I mean to look at the scene? I did mean to look at the scene. You're right. It's in a different location. History of this. Oh, there it is. Move dialogger on title screen. Okay, why did I do that? Click story mode of the saved game. A dialogue will pop up. Click the settings gear. At this point, both dialogues will be showing at once. But the do you want to load the saved game one will be on top. We're all trying to find the guy who did this. No, it was definitely me. I knew that. I just didn't remember doing it. But yeah, now I remember. All right, so the problem is that it needed to not cover the settings. So it's just that the dialogger needs to cover everything but the settings. So wherever this used to be, we need to put it back there and then just move the settings dialog. So yeah, where did this used to be? It used to be below game settings menu. So we just move it to, wait, what? It was 1 node down? That doesn't sound right. No, it was under game credits menu. Yeah. Game credits menu. So we put that there. Then we put the settings on top of all of that stuff. There, that should do it. That should do it. All right, so I click this, I click this. Yep, we can see this now. If I click the settings button, that's fine. If I click this and then the settings button, we're still fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's everything. All right. This was a sidetrack, though. I was trying to... Oh, yeah, I see what I was trying to do. Fix bug with dialogger on title screen. I fixed a different... Or I introduced this in... when I last moved the dialogger. I didn't realize that it would show up beneath the new challenge. What's it called? New challenge run screen. So trying to start a run with unspent points would pop up the dialogue behind the screen. Okay. All right, so how did I even find that? Ah, yeah, here. You can find info. I was just trying to start a challenge mode run. That's why. So now I can actually do this, start, and it asks you to go to the perks tab. Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's really bad. Oh, man. These cats are adorable. They're just such cute cats. And they're always next to each other. Town perks 0. Why is this happening? Why does this game hate me? I probably accidentally formatted the wrong part of a string. I think this is supposed to say this is where town perks will show up or something. Show up. Nah, show up shows up too many times. We need to find perks panel tab. Is it in here somewhere? What is this thing called? All perks, maybe? Ah, here it is. Ah, there's show up. Yeah, so this is the problem. I just didn't want a dollar sign there. Oh, if only I had the analyzer that's supposed to fix those problems. Okay, well, what if we just search for dollar sign quotation mark 603? And what about there? 601? Any call to translate that has that, which is none of them, but it's none of them with that line set up. Maybe I can search for the regex and try to find it. Translate /n/s plus dollar sign. Would it have found, would this regex have worked for that problem that I actually have here? Where'd that go? Here. Yeah, so if I put that back there, does it find this? No, then this is the wrong regex. Oh, because it's format, not translate. Format. Aha, there are two such issues. One was here, which we delete, and the other is here, which is indeed another problem. So it says battle here to catch fish at your pond. I bet if I go build a pond, it's going to just say 0 or something like that. Pond. It does not say that. Is it on the battle map? I don't know where that actually shows. Yeah, there it is. It just says 0. Fixed. Now it's yellow. Why is it yellow? Format argument is not a valid format string. Oh. Oh, I see what I did. I see. That's very tricky. Yeah, it's very, very tricky. Okay, so now that should work. Let's go test that. Did you add that one condition? I tried and it didn't work. So I just gave up because it wasn't worth the effort. I think there's something more to detecting if something is an interpolated string. All right, what am I doing? I got to click this. Yeah, so that looks good. And then the other case where this was supposed to look good is over here where you just press P. Yeah, so here it is. Buy town perks for them to show up here. Okay, so we'll go check that in. We fixed 2 more bugs. Fix bug with formatted strings. I wasn't passing the parameters correctly. So the UI would just show 0 instead of a string. All right, so I'm still trying to get back to this. And I just need to figure out, where do we name this? Perks. It should be in tab titles somewhere. Yeah, right there. Okay, easy. Does it work for me? I'll try to check again sometime. Yeah, it didn't work for me, and I might have been doing something wrong. But like I said, probably not worth the effort at this point. All right, so tab titles. We don't have these anywhere, do we? Tip, building, instance, adventure. Maybe I should just do this up here. Public static string perks tab title. Now this needs to be translation server.translate. And then we use this down here. And we search for / quotation marks. Why is that complaining? Does it say it needs to be above? Ugh, yes. All right, is that good? You're going to complain about this? No. Okay, so we got to go find this again. Don't regex it. Do this. Find it there. Close every other tab. All right, now we got it. So we do a string.format. And we translate that as 0. And then we put in perks panel tab dot that. That's not it. What I call it? Panels tab container. Panels tab container. All right. Yeah. All right, let's go test that. Make sure it's looking good. So I click this button. And now it should say over here, yeah, note you can find info about these in the perks tab. So if you go to the perks tab, you see this stuff here. Man, everything I did for that challenge mode just feels like a dream at this point. There's like 3 months of time spent reworking the game to work as a roguelike game. And I still don't totally know what the average person is going to think about this. They might be like, this is stupid. I want more story mode. Oh, well. All right, so let's keep going through these. So this one's done. Opening skeleton directory doesn't matter. You have not spent any of your upgrade points. Spend them using that button. We already did. Spend the adventurers tab. We talk about the adventurers tab quite a lot. And they're all going to look kind of like this. So this is going to be string.format, which we already have. Wait, why do we have a string.format? We're not even formatting anything. No idea. No idea. Past Adam was just in a localization frenzy. There. Okay. Same thing here. Adventures tab. So this is translate. We need a string.format. In the 0 tab. There. All right, any other adventurers ones? Let's just do that while it's on my clipboard. Yeah, nice. Adventurers. I think that's it. No, there's one more. Is that it? This isn't needed. Actually, any of the tool stuff won't be needed. Nice. All that can be deleted. Okay, so there aren't that many instances of these. Yeah, this will take another maybe 10 minutes. Okay, that one's done. Okay, so now, oh, and this one's already done too. How is that already done? How did that? Okay, well, maybe I'll do another search at the end. All right, so now do we have any other ones in common? Just buildings? Oh, this one, perks. We already had that one. Perks. String.format. There we go. And even something like town hall could be parameterized. We could say this is 0, this one's 1, this one is building strings dot town hall name. Yeah. I should probably search for more of those. See where else we refer to the town hall, tavern, guild, like chef slime, etc. And maybe parameterize those. All right, so that was the perks menu, which is now finished. Yeah. Okay, next. Start fishing. This one's just in quotes because it's not really fishing. You're battling the fish. That one's fine. This one says click the unlock button. Okay, so let's search for unlock, comma, buttons. This is, why is it not finding anything? Oh, because there's a cost on it. All right, let's not do anything about that one then. Click the build button. Build. Build shows up in town menu. Now right there. So make that public. Is it complaining about Static should be for non-static members. Oh, great. Here. That's correct. Really? I just don't like this. I've never liked this. All right, build button text. Hey, fair everyone. 269 is a prime number. It's also the sum of two perfect squares. 10 squared plus 13 squared. All right, why is this not right? Because balance app container doesn't have this. It's in down menu. And I'm just randomly typing stuff. Nerds. Nerds. How's it going, favorite one? All right, so this turns into a 0. But then we have farm and garbage slime here. And I believe those are in building strings, and we should probably use those. Yep, farm and garbage. Yep, there. They're both there. Yeah. Okay. So where's that code I just had? Here. So this will be 0. This will be 1. And this will be 2. And now we need building strings dot farm name and building strings dot recycler name. How close are we getting? We're still about 3 months away. And I'm still somehow working on localization. I really, really want to be done with this stuff. And I think today we can finally try AI translations. And I'm just cleaning up some of this. So as an example here, this string used to say... Oh, okay, yeah. So this string used to say this. Pretty straightforward. To get buildings like the farm or garbage slime, click the build button. Well, the problem is translators would have already translated farm and garbage slime and build. And why have them translated again here? So what we're doing is we're parameterizing this into this and this and this. And that way a translator could just look at this and be like, oh, I just need to translate to get buildings like the, and assume that these are examples. And then this is going to be the name of the button. And then just put the actual like meaningful text there. So I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to hopefully go crazy doing this, but yeah, we do have a bunch of other spots. So let's finish the rest of these. So this one's done. You have enough money to build the farm. That was the string interpolation thing? Yeah. Which allows you to go crops, level up your adventures. Click the buildings button. This is different. Buildings. Where does that show up? It must be in the town menu. Yeah, so we have build and buildings because they're in different modes. So town menu. Buildings button. Then take... Oh, that's just directly translated through here. So we actually disable this. And that means that we need to have this one set to always. Oh, man. Which now means we need to set it in ready. So wherever we get the build button. Buildings button. Yeah. Good. And good. Okay, you have enough money to build a farm, which allows you to grow crops. I can level up your adventures. Click the buildings button to build it. Cool. I was torn on these because I don't know how syntax or grammar works in other languages, so I'm not convinced it'll be easy to translate like that. It should be fine, right? Like, oh, I see. You're saying that maybe farm, when used as a subject, might be different from the word used as an object. I think that Turkish might be like that. In which case, yeah, this would be a problem. You have enough money to buy a farm, or you can now afford? Oh, I don't know. This is going to be up to translators. The important part is just, here's the string in English. And in any other language, so whatever this would be, in any other language, can you still use like 0 and 1 and form some string that makes sense? So as an example, we could change this to like, let's say, whoops, let's say we change this to English 2, where we say, you can now afford the farm. Yay. The whatever button allows you to get this. So like, I don't know another language to be able to type this out in a language, but yeah, you could imagine like, oh, this could be French, for example. And maybe, yeah, the sentence structure changed a little bit. Maybe we even reverse these things and we say something like, click the 1 button to buy the 0. So all that stuff would be fine, as long as you can still just use these things without changing them. I don't know what the should be without knowing the building. Yeah. Yeah, I see. That's a problem. Yeah. In this case, you would see it's in farm tips, so you'd know that it's referring to the farm. So you would know which one of these to use. And then you wouldn't have to type out farm again. But yeah. All right, well, how about we don't do this then? Hold off on this. It's not super important. Yeah. All right, and then we have the buildings button over here too. String doc format. Where is this? Town menu dot buildings button text. Good. Since it's a literal reference. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing is that I don't know how many, like, we'll probably have little translation problems here and there, and I'll just go in and I'll fix the code where it makes sense. So now I think we're in better shape. Let's try building this. Yeah. All right, so it builds. Parameterize strings referring to buttons. In several places, we say something like click the adventurers button. But that means that we need to keep that string in sync with the actual button text. Now we parameterize those strings. Okay, how about just for laughs, we search for chef slime. How many strings show to the user that have this in there? So there's 1. I mean, there shouldn't be that many. I'm just curious. Oh, that's not good. This shows up in 2 different spots. They're kind of the same thing, right? Yeah, it's probably not a good idea. I'm guessing the same thing happens with the recycler. Yeah, those okay, so the slimes are kind of special. All right, I might write this down too. The 2 slimes show as both buildings and NPCs because we use the same words in English. I assume it'd be the same thing because we're not actually building them as a building. Yeah. All right, so what else? So there's another one. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 strings. So should we bother parameterizing these? I think we should. Oh man, here's why I think we should. Chef Slime is not a particularly clever name, but maybe some translator is like, oh, I have a really good name for this in French. And they come up with something and it's great, it's a pun, it's silly, whatever. I don't want them to have to go through like 7 other strings and have to change it. It'd be probably easy enough to find them all. But anyway, we probably have more important stuff to do for right now. So yeah, let's not worry about that. And let's not worry about this either. All right, so update, not doing this just because I want to get done with localization stuff today if I can. Not super important, and it may actually make translations harder in some cases. All right. Oh, all right, I'm just going to skip this next break. I really want to get done with as much of this as I can before lunchtime. So there'll still be an ad, but I won't go away during that time. Couldn't some instances of those terms change based on context for each language? Yeah, they could potentially. So as I kind of mentioned, it's like, suppose you're talking about someone, you're talking about me, and you say something like, he went to the store, or the item was brought to him. In both cases, here I'm the subject, so I'm referred to as he, and here I'm the object, so I'm referred to as him. So the word changes, the pronoun changes based on where it is in the sentence in English. Now, I wouldn't probably parameterize it as a pronoun, because both of these cases would work with my name. And what I'm counting on is, are there enough other languages where you could just like substitute a name and not a pronoun? So Adam went to the store, the item was brought to Adam. Those are both fine in English. Not sure we'll even use the literal translation. Oh yeah. None of that's a problem, because whatever you would translate it as just needs to be the same in all the different locations. So let's say you called it, I don't know, the friendly person or something like that. You could, that's okay. You could just replace that everywhere. So some amount of human oversight is going to be needed so that these things sound okay. And then some of these are just like straight up sentences that are describing something, and yeah, could probably be directly machine translated. Hey, Blue Pulsar. Korean has subject and object markers, which change the end of words. So there's another effect that I'm kind of curious about when it comes to something like this, which is if a Korean person, if like the average Korean gamer plays an American indie game and sees everything translated except not these markers, do they like hate the game on average? So, or can they not play? Or are they just like, oh yeah, that happens? Because there's this concept of, there are a lot of Japanese games that made it to the US and have some peculiar phrases, or they weren't like fully translated properly. And you're like, okay, whatever. It was a Japanese game. I don't think it necessarily ruins the experience as long as you can understand the game. Some games are never translated. So like, do you see this sort of thing and you're like, yeah, whatever. Like even in English, from English developers, you might see something like 4x potion. It should technically be potions, right? You should pluralize it. But you've seen this in enough video games where you're like, yeah, okay, that happens. I don't care. It doesn't really pull me out of the game. So is Korean with the subject and object markers, is it like that, where it's like this level of offense? Or is it more like, I don't know, you spoony bard level of offense? Actually, that's not even really an offense, I guess. That's like a joke at this point. But yeah, like a Silk Song translation level of offense into Chinese. So yeah, I'll have to see how this stuff plays out, because Korean is one of the languages I want to translate to. All right, so where do we leave off with this? We got to update documentation. We got to run .NET format. Text stuff, look over this. All right, so let's do all the text stuff right now. And I guess we can run .NET format now. Do I have any other changes? Nope. .NET format. There. Actual translations and big products take teams to do proper translations. Very expensive. Yeah. That's why I say indie games. Because if you play, like, I don't know, Terraria in Japanese, are you like, it's 80% of the way there? Yeah, that's pretty good. Like, I'm fine with that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it'd be seen. Go insane if you care about that. For example, in Polish, not targeted right now, you have different endings for everything. Yeah. I think you'd struggle to understand some sentences where you need to know what's the subject and what's the object. I see. Yeah. Well, the nice thing is we can fix a lot of these by, instead of saying like click the 0 to access whatever, we could just say click the and write it out, chef slime. And now whoever gets access to translating this could put like chef slime, object marker here, or well, in that case it's the object, but in this case we say like the chef slime and a subject marker here will let you access whatever. So that's the only change I would have to make. I just change a 0 into a literal string, and then translators go in and update. Okay, well, this is an object. This is a subject. Yeah. You have to make sure what's the proper term being used. Some languages have male and female form, all sorts of double meanings that you need to look into. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of this is going to be handled by the translation stuff. So I guess what I'm trying to say, my main point here is there are two parts of this. There's the code aspect, which is me no matter what. And then there's the translation aspect, which is never me because I can only really speak English. So the code aspect is setting up a string like the 0 is 1 or something versus saying something like the home is blue. Like changing this is trivially easy for me. If you have a million of these, it's annoying, but it's trivially easy to change one of these things. Whereas the translation aspect, saying something like, saying the home is blue in Korean, I don't know how to do that. So yeah, I can't validate it as correct. I can't come up with it myself. So that was my only point, is just if it's a coding thing, I can fix that pretty easily. And then the rest of the stuff about matching, articles or matching subject and object, that's not my job basically. Because I just wouldn't be able to do it. Okay, so this is just run.9 format. Gotta merge this stuff afterward too. Okay, so that's done. I18N needs an update. This probably needs like a total overhaul at this point. Yeah, so one, I'm gonna get rid of the table of contents so that I don't need to make sure that these things match at the end. And then I think I want to get rid of this stuff and save it for just notes in my notebook. Part of the application is common in both cases, namely for elements added to scenes via the editor. Sets text to the screen key. Example, new game. I'll have a key like new game. Draft PR may get merged, in which case we can use that everywhere and still see a new game in the editor. All right, so I'll write some like notes about setup. I think this is still probably valid. And what did this used to say? Common in CSV versus PO. Yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Hey, Sniper. Curious, but do you have much income these days? I know you had Google savings and investments, but that doesn't last a lifetime, right? I personally do not have much income. I mean, my wife is also working. I don't think this is too much of a concern for right now, at least. But yeah, my income is through Twitch and YouTube. Trying to think if I have anything else. And I have one mentee. Is there any other income that I have? I think it's that. Anyway, Twitch works out to probably like, I don't know, 300 a month. YouTube works out to probably something like 25 cents per, not even 25 cents, probably like 15 cents per stream. And MNT is whatever I'm charging, I think $190 per session. So this is very little money in terms of income, but Skelecellar is almost done. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Interesting side note, because of the different endings in Polish, you can put words in sentence in any order. Yeah. What about your housing? You renting or have some kind of mortgage going? We have a housing cost, but Yeah, I think so. One, no matter what, whenever I talk about this stuff, I try to respect like our privacy. And my wife is a little bit more private than I am on this front, so I try to ratchet it up to the level of privacy she wants. Two, I think the sort of general question is like, how are you able to do this? And yeah, it's a combination of income and savings and trajectory, I guess. Like, will Skeleteller do well? It's kind of it. Helps me contrast my life. I think the important things on these fronts are a very like high level discussion of what do you want to do in your life and how does money impact that. So some people want to be the next Jeff Bezos or something, in which case you need a ton of money for that. And some people want to like go fishing and spend time with their dog and play guitar, and you don't need a lot of money for that. And I think there's a high level discussion of that. And then I think there's a more like practical discussion around financial management. And a lot of this, things like lifestyle creep play into this, savings, just spendings, budgeting, any other number of practical things that might show up. And I don't talk about this stuff a lot, but I tend to be a somewhat frugal person. And I think my wife is also kind of on that axis, but maybe a little bit less frugal than I am. And you see this play out in a lot of the business decisions I make. Like we're using Weblate, the self-hosted version, because I'm like, it's basically free. I pay for bandwidth and electricity and compute resources myself. But yeah, we're doing that. We're using some probably machine translations edited by volunteers. So one of the big changes between Botland and this is the budget. And with Botland, there was a lot of upfront cost. With Skeleteller, the upfront costs have been very cheap so far, at least in terms of a game. The budget was basically set to $500, and we spent about $250, and we will probably spend a lot of money on ads at some point. Anyway, let's keep looking through this. This can easily be done in Godot via project settings, Godot or localization translations. Here, click add. All right, in code. For text that's added to the scene via code, still use localization keys to refer to the strings and pull them from the right locale. We can even use formatting to localize strings based on values calculated. Yeah. All right, so this we don't need. Okay, GScript has a built-in mechanism. So this won't exist here. We actually have not done this. Wait, are these named placeholders? Yeah, would be pretty nice. E-commerce platform is now so advanced, I almost struggle to explain how dynamic attributes work. I have to say, I like your way of constantly typing and categorizing each discussion. Even started upping my own typing, trying to get rid of gamer WSD hand positioning. I think it helps for streaming. I don't tend to do this when I'm just kind of thinking about something to myself, but I do still tend to do pros and cons lists, and I do tend to talk about like questions and options that I have, or problems and options. So I'll still do something like this myself, like problem, how do we translate this? Option 1, foo, option 2, bar, and so on. I'll still write that to myself. I will not just jot out all my random ramblings. Yeah. Hope you're successful. I know doing your own business or game is very all or nothing type of situation. Yeah, thank you. I'm pretty hopeful. I don't think it's just blind hope at this point. I think the demo has done well, and the problem we're going to have is definitely marketing, because the demo numbers have dropped off after I just stopped reaching out to people. So like if we look at this right now, in the last week, there have been 29 people. So on average, about 4 people per day to play the demo. And of those people, the median, well, I don't know about these 29 people, but the median playtime has been 2 hours. So it's like people are enjoying the game. It's just not a lot of people are finding the game. And this is free. So even if all of these people converted to sales eventually, 29 people per week at $15 per game would be $435 per week, which if we just keep doing the math here and do that, whoops, 52. So this much per year. Then you take out Valve's cut. So you only get this much to the dev. Let's round that. And then you take out taxes and, you know, you compensate everyone you need to compensate. So it's like, this is not very much. You'd obviously need to ramp this up. As I explain issues and problems myself in third person and answer my own questions. Yeah. And that's assuming, like I said, that everyone buys the game who plays it. So yeah, we need to market this. I think there are two general steps. One, make a good product. Two, market that product. What are the 4 P's again that they talk about? Product, placement, pricing, and something else. Product, place, price, and promotion. Yeah, I thought it was promotion, but I guess that's the. I guess I don't know what placement is then. Excuse me, it's not placement. How the product is distributed, where it's available for purchase. And yeah, things like advertising. Okay. Instead of ruining that big first impression by playing demos, at least that's how I mostly operate. Yeah, and that would be covered by, I guess, wish lists, but also wish lists haven't been increasing a whole lot. So last week we've gotten 62 additions and 37 deletions. So it's actually worked out to fewer people are wish listing the game than playing the demo every week. Which I don't know what that means. I wonder if it means they played the demo and they're like, I don't want to buy the game now. But we're going to be printing the demo soon enough. And that might make wish lists increase. So yeah, we'll have to see. All right, CSV, I'm not going to even keep this here. And I'm not going to keep that there. PO mechanism. Okay. So generating.pot files, usually to generate this by extracting from this. Not supported through scenes, used through the editor, select all scenes. You can also generate PO files. Yep. Okay, generating that from that. Good. Updating existing files. Translating messages. We use Weblate for this. Yeah, hey Dozy Burrito. Does it track how many people follow you? I think that's totally public. I'm not sure though. I don't know where you see the number of followers. I was watching Cakes' stream the other day and he had some plugin that shows a bunch of data here from SteamDB. But I don't know where you find that normally. Maybe you just go to SteamDB and find it. Scala seller. Is there a follower thing on here? Yeah, I don't know where you find this. I don't know where you see that information. Yeah, follow the. Yeah, I don't know where you see that. There's probably some way to find it, and maybe it's public. I think it helps. Hey, Shady. Welcome in. Haven't seen you in a while. How's it going? Even hard to get to your follow list? You have to go to Discovery Queue first. It might influence, though, how you see news on Steam, and maybe people do that. I don't know. All right, so a system that allows us to use. So this is not done. Yeah. I'm going to just delete this whole section. Locale change signal. This we should keep. shorthand extensions. I think these are gone. Guidelines. These are apparently supported, but yeah. I'm just going to leave the rest of this. I don't want to spend too long on this. I'll write a warning. So Kevin wrote this originally. Then Adam, modified it after being burned out by localization. So it's possible that this isn't the best reference anymore. Yeah. Okay, there. Followers at 10 times 10 equals wish list, even if it's not a rule. Wish lists aren't a public number. Yeah, yeah. And in this case, I mean, I'm willing to share the numbers, so it's not like there's a secret here. But one of the things that I think is pretty hard to predict in my case is what will marketing actually do? So like, let's say I run ads, how many people will that bring in? And I just haven't done this yet. And I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot left to do in the next 3 months. Marketing is a big chunk of it. All right, so we're gonna say this is probably done. There were some other things here. Need branches, yeah. So this is something I should probably write in here. Generating these files. Be careful generating any translations when you're not working on main. We pull our translations in from sets submodules. I don't know where this is. Game. Yeah, I don't remember where this even is. Oh, it's before this. Wait, no, that can't be right. No, that can't be right. Oh, it doesn't need to be in the assets folder. Okay, never mind. I understand. All right, so we go into here and we do get remote -v. Pull our translations in from this as a git submodule. So anytime you push that repo, hang on, how does this work? You push that repo and then I'm just gonna leave it as that. I'm not even gonna write anything here. Yeah, this is kind of stupid. It's not a very helpful note. Just pay big streamers to play. It won't be expensive at all. Man, you know what I got to do? I got to find streamers in other countries to play. Because I've been reaching out to a lot of English influencers. Well, a lot of English speaking influencers. All right, well, I'm going to mention that. Mention to run generate after the POT files. That should be done from this program. Don't forget to run this, generate POT, navigate to that. Remember that any new scene, I never even finished this string. Oh, man. You need to rerun this program since that will only make a .pot file, not the .po files. All right, so that's done too. Update the README to say that any submodule problems don't seem to cause any issues. Yep, where's that? Submodule, here it is. Make sure you have access to this so that the submodule will work in this repo. If you don't, you'll get some kind of build error or not even a build error, some kind of runtime error, but it shouldn't prevent you from launching the game. All right, so that's done too now. All right, so what should I say here? Hastily update some documentation. This is not my best work, but I don't know if we're even going to consult this in the future. Yeah, I could have done a better job here for sure, but I don't want to spend the time on this right now. Good. Okay, next up, look over my Obsidian notes, internationalization Godot. This one is newer. There were a few at the time of writing. Okay, at the time of writing, that's still correct, and that's the only time I wrote this. Maybe I wrote currently somewhere? No. All right, let's read through this really fast. Note covers what we did for Skeleseller, which uses C# to internationalize and localize the game. Godot has documentation on the general process here. For translation, a high-level plan was use machine translations as a foundation, and community contributions improve this. At a high level, you need to perform these steps. Find strings in your code base, translate them. Use the translated strings accordingly. Sounds good. Finding strings. I just wrote this. Finding strings in your code base. Xget text. Okay, as such, it's best to wrap every translated string in some set of known function calls. You pass extract all to extract every string. Yeah, here's documentation. It's quite helpful. We run it with these arguments. These arguments should all be made into code snippets. There. All right, explanations are still probably fine. Okay, translation services. You may want to consider, maybe I should just write machine translation services. Oh, wait, we can't do that. You need to like right click and click rename, I think. Yeah, rename. Because if you don't do this, it won't update the links. And I think we had a link from here. Yeah, see machine translation services. Now you can click this. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Okay, community contributions. Originally wanted to write some custom in-game code. A lot of people do that. Everyone said I over-engineered it, so I agreed. We used that. Okay, cool. Formatting strings for localization. Few cases to accommodate pluralized strings. Cool. Strings with parameters. And strings with BB code. Including formatting, excluding formatting. Sounds good. Strings with C# specific formatting. What does that mean? If you want the translators to be able to customize the formatting of a parameter. Oh, I see. Like percent signs. Okay, yeah, this is all good. Done. See if anything else in the conclusions from the prior section should be captured. What? Oh my god, this? Oh, I forgot about this. Oh, man. All right, fine. Let's read this again. I think a lot of this is not needed anymore. Yeah. Can I get rid of join existing? Seems like it. Yeah, this is still a problem. How is it not on my list? Okay, well, I don't know how it's not on my list, but it's about to be there. Empty code. All right, I need to find a different. Oh my god, I forgot about that too. Oh no. Oh no. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I don't want to do that. How's the game before releasing? Costs. Anything else? through Discord offers. Okay, the offers I need to reach out to these people. I guess let's just copy a link to this. Reach out to the people who offered help. There. Anything else? No, that's it. Okay, so we got a couple of important stuff here, right? Yeah. Day 3 of game programming. Nice. How are you liking it so far? Okay, so this stuff's all done. Look, we can see the bottom of the list. It's happening. Finally happening. So everywhere money symbol is used probably needs to be changed. Yeah, what do we have? Oh, 28? That's not as bad as I thought. Yeah, that's not as bad as I thought. Building a platform with Raylib and C#, coding when I wake up until 10 p.m. Wow. It's intense. Yeah. Okay, so here's what I think we could do. Everywhere in English, we say something like, this thing costs 4G or whatever, 100G or something like that. So in English, it's basically take the amount of money and then put G after it. And G is actually parameterized as well to be a money symbol. So it's actually 0 and then 1. And we just slam the two things together. So what I think we should do is we should have some way of like format money or format gold. And it takes in a number and it returns, in English at least, something like number G. And then anyone else can specify what it should be for them. I wonder if there's a problem with that anywhere. Hopefully not. And we just need to make that function. So yeah, it shouldn't be too hard. Text formatting strings. Public static string gold amount. Yeah, gold amount. And it's going to be 0G in English. Money symbol. Is this even... Do we even need a constant for this, I wonder? We're gonna put every single thing like this, won't we? Yeah, I don't think we need this. I think we just delete it. I like it a lot. Automatically lean toward doing more, which hasn't been a thing for me. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm glad you're liking it. Shortcut to open LinkedIn on keyboard is something I didn't expect. That's crazy. Who has that? Especially since you can format 0 separately if you want to handle big numbers. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to delete this. But I'm glad I wrote this down here. It'd be really hard to search for G in a code base should we ever decide we want to change or localize this. So that's why a constant exists. But now we're going to consolidate it all to one function anyway. Windows Alt Control Shift L. Oh, it's like a Windows shortcut? Oh man, I don't like that at all. Especially because how many people who use LinkedIn even use that shortcut? All right, so this will highlight every single error we have. Oh, I never even fixed the text formatting thing, right? No change needed. All right, so text formatting. I'm going to write I18N. This is for any time gold shows up in the game. E.g., this thing costs 4G or small blue potion value 4G. Yeah. The 4G part comes from this string. Yeah. Okay, and now we just go fix all these. What time is it? 11 o'clock? If I'm asking what time it is and it's only 11, that's a bad thing. This means I'm getting hungry too early. Today's eggnog day. I bought eggnog. Eggnog's the best seasonal drink or food that you can have. It is known. All right, so what are we doing here? Format delta amount and then the money symbol separately. Oh boy. All right, so how do we change this? Let's look at text formatting strings, dot gold amount. So we pass an amount. This would be something like 4G. And then we need, we'll just put the plus sign before it. And then we want to format that as a number. So we should probably make a BB code thing. Oh God, won't this be painful? No, not really. Yeah, not really. I don't think it has to be at least. Public static string format gold amount. Long amount. Return bold string. Isn't that what format number does? Yeah. Format number. Text formatting. Gold amount. Non-invocable member. Huh, I messed that up. Yeah, long amount. Okay, now what are we looking at? Don't know what it is or what it tastes like. Oh, you're missing out. Eggnog. I'll link the Wikipedia thing. It is known as milk punch. Never called it that. Sweetened dairy-based beverage made with milk, cream, sugar, egg yolk, and whipped egg white. So yeah, it's not very healthy. Although I imagine most things people are looking forward to at the holidays are not very healthy. Exactly. So it's milk tart. I don't know what milk tart is. Oh, interesting. Yeah, pretty much. This looks like it has maybe cinnamon on top, though. Although you could probably spice it. Yeah. Anyway, it's very good. And I got it. So I'm excited. Okay, so here's what we're going to change this to. We're going to change this to bb code functions dot format gold amount. And then we don't need this anymore. Translated string requires one parameter, but you only have two. Oh, that was framed poorly. We should probably rename that. This looks like it's more healthy. The milk tart thing? Hold on a second. You looked at this. You said this is more healthy than this. Doesn't this basically look like pie? Excuse me. More healthy. I think they look equally unhealthy. Okay, so we just got to keep fixing every single problem that shows up. Which I think we have, what, 25 more? This actually might not take too long. And I was dreading this work, but it might not be bad. 27 more, yeah. Okay. All right, so upgrade button. So we want to do text formatting strings dot gold amount cost. Yeah. In fact, this is what we're going to do in most places, so I should just copy that. Chef slime. What do we have here? We have a plus amount. So this turns into this. It felt the same. Milk tart more healthy. Okay. Okay. Adventurers cost some amount more. So this is base cost increase. So we change this to BB code functions, format gold amount, adventurer cost increase. All right, good. Harvestable. This is just the same thing with amount. Yeah, this isn't too bad so far. What's this one? Earn some amount to win. I guess we're not going to bold this. Oh, drat. What was it? Yeah, gold target. I got to run .NET format after this. .NET format again to find unused imports. All right, let's just press F5 and get this number to drop. The reason I do this is not because I need to see the number lower, but because it's hard to track what is 5 in. I just want to like start from the top and go through those. Okay, so here we have a bunch of money instances, and all these need to change. So we were using format number. We should change this to format. Actually, we can change all of these, can't we? Yeah, we can change all of these to format gold amount. And then delete the quotation marks. Yeah. Nice. Okay, let's keep going. Is this still on my clipboard? Yeah, it is. So text equals cumulative money earned. Let's just delete that. Whoops. Yeah, nice. How long have you been programming, if you don't mind? I have a command for that, although it's too long for YouTube. But if you ever type in, if you go to a.bot.land, actually, I'll link that in too. You can find all the commands that are here. So like this one links to Adam's age. So you need to go to the Adam's age command, and you'll find that there too. All right, what next? This one is going to be format gold amount, gold needed. All right, now let's press F5 again. Now we should be down to 17 errors, I think. 16. Even better. So we got 3 of these showing up. So total buy amount and tip amount. We're just going to get strings for both of these things. Total buy amount text is that. And tip amount text is that. And then replace these things here. I'm not going to look through this. We're going to do it this way. There. Yeah, there's probably still something we could do to make this a little bit better, but that's good enough. What's the craziest thing you've ever built? Like coding wise, or I guess I haven't done too many hardware projects. Craziest thing I've ever built. Yeah, it's hard to, I think it was that typing with a piano thing. I just, it's such an out there project. Yeah, I can't think if there's anything else that's at that level of like silliness and waste of time. Okay, so this one's done. Now we go to here. This is hire 010. Oh, I got to make sure I didn't break that, because this takes in the cost and the money symbol. Now it's just going to be 0. And it's going to be text formatting strings dot gold amount cost. Cool. Next up, this one. Cost of next perk, build button. So this is text formatting strings. Yeah, I can't think there's anything else I've made that I would call crazy. All right, what do we got here? Scrap price. Scrap price text equals that. Now we replace it. Not too bad. Wrote an auto fishing tool for Albion Online when I had a hard exam in like 2 days and I had no sleep because of that. Won't forget that experience. And it was a waste. I don't play that game at all or care. Have you tried Seno? No. I'd like to at some point. I think it'd be cool to try, but I think it's such a big commitment. I feel the same way about a lot of human languages. Like I want to learn Korean or I want to learn Japanese, and it'd probably be fun to start, but I don't think I could fully learn the language, and I don't think I'd have anyone to talk to anyway afterward. Oh, craziest in terms of scope? I mean, the one in terms of scope would be Botland for sure. That was, I mean, that spanned like a decade of development. And the newest version was 5 years on its own. All right, so this formatting, text formatting, strings, dot, gold amount, cost. Sounds good. Signpost. Pretty much the same thing. We don't use the cost string anywhere else, no. Okay, this is just build cost. Recycler, this is the scrap price. We only use this once. We use text formatting strings already? Yeah, we do for the scrap price. Okay. Available buildings is text and then in parentheses the cost. All right, so cost string, let's do that. Oh, that was easy. All right, next up. Cost of next perk. All right, nice. The idea was so funny too. Use an auto library and kept listening to game audio, so when a fish was caught, it would have made a sound. Basically had to move the character to a quiet place. Oh, interesting. There's not footage? Oh, I mean, if you want to see footage, there's a ton of like Botland VODs. There's got to be footage in there. I wonder if you just search for Botland on YouTube, what shows up. Yeah, yeah, you can find some things if you want. There's a trailer, there's, I don't know, a lot of stuff goes back pretty far. Whoa. Man. All right, cost of next perk. How much gold G you have? And we don't need to format this anymore. In the demo, you're limited to that much gold. Oh, you know, we could use the formatting for this. It doesn't really matter. All right, what's this now? Buy cost. Okay. And the final one is right here. This is going to be that. Okay, let's go take a look. Let's see if this builds. Yep, let's make sure it looks good. 100G, how much gold you have? Cool, let's get some items. Good. Yeah. Let's look at some build buttons. So we go into here, and we should see them on the left side. Yeah, 15G, 25G, 25. And whenever I build something, that should go up. So that says 30G, 30G. Yeah. Okay. I mean, it looks pretty good. Let's run .NET format. And then I'll click the plus on here. And I want to look through all the changes that I made. So I want to see, did I ever change the number of parameters passed to any of these functions? There are very few formats, actually. It's a lot of interpolated strings. Yeah, we're looking good, though. Yep, okay. This changed, but I got rid of that correctly. This is fine. Yeah, nice. And then this is removing game constants from a bunch of files. Yeah. All right. So add gold formatting functions. We had game constants dot money symbol before this to represent the letter G. So it was pretty easy to find places that needed to be updated. Actually, maybe I didn't find them all. Let's search for /d plus G. And only in C# files. There are only 9 results. And yeah, there are a bunch of gold references, but they're all in comments. But that's not the only thing we would search for. We'd also search for a curly brace and then G, because that would find... Okay, nice. It found just this one instance. And then is there any other way that we could find this? I don't think so. We could search for the word gold, maybe. I don't think that's going to show up a lot. Yeah, at least never with a number before it. Saying you get gold or the amount of gold, that's fine. The word gold is not a problem. Start with more gold, yeah, that's fine. Anytime we use a number, though, that's probably going to be an issue. This is the color gold, that's different. That's just a joke. That's fine. Yeah, you know what? I am going to change this one. So instead of saying you're limited to 0 gold, we're going to say just gold. And then... is this rich text? It must be rich text. So we can use bb code functions format gold amount. Okay, so now I got to enter the demo. Let's try that. So feature flags demo, we just set to true. And then run this. Yeah, today has gone fantastically well so far. It might have taken a long time to get here, but we've done a lot of work. Yeah, look at that. It says in the demo you are limited to 199G. Now, it might sound kind of funny why 199. And the reason why is because there are a lot of things that cost 200 that we want to stop you from getting. So like this, for example, you can't afford this next level of max customers because you can never get 200 gold. So this serves as a way for the demo to show you, hey, there's more stuff you can get, but not in the demo. And I think we limit how much sludge you get too. So you can get how much of the farm? You can get that much of that upgrade and that much of the rest. Yeah, so that's the highest level you can get. Level 1, level 3, level 1, and then neither of those. And then once you harvest all these crops, why am I doing this? I can just do it that way. Yeah, so now you can level up an adventurer to level 4. So 4 is the highest level you can get to in the game. Can you romance in the game? No. There's no real dialogue. There's no like controlling the characters. I think having romance in this game would be very unusual. In fact, I wonder if there's any automated game that has romance that players care about. Like, what does Dwarf Fortress do? They probably have families or something, or some kind of romance in there, although not like a Stardew Valley kind of game would. But yeah, I wonder. Game's family friendly? Yeah. If it were to get an ESRB rating, I imagine it'd be E, and it would get some like cartoon violence, and that'd be it. I don't think there'd be anything else. These bones need cuddling too. You'd use romance as a demo or paid barrier? Wow. Okay. Yeah. My favorite type of romance is hunting orcs. Hey, everyone's got their own thing. If that's your idea of a first date, that's a great idea. Imagine, I mean, the closest thing you'd get to in real life is, I guess, like, hey, you want to go axe throwing with me? And there's an asterisk just into orcs. You want to get some experience with me? That'd be a pretty good pickup line in an RPG. You want to get some experience with me? I think we should change the stream into that now. Pickup lines in RPGs. Okay, these things are done. So we're now on the remaining setup. And we can cheat a little bit here. You ready for this? Delete the header and delete the header. And whoops, I actually deleted another item. And we've gotten 2 lines off the list. So we're down to however many this is. What, like 7, 8, 9? Okay, this is probably good stuff to do in the afternoon. Yeah. I need to merge my branch and switch to main. Yeah, is this a good stopping point? Yeah, we're almost exactly at the 3-hour mark. I'm at 2 hours, 59 minutes, and as of this second, 32 seconds. So yeah, I think this is probably a decent stopping point. So then in the afternoon, we'll try using AI to translate some things. I don't know how this is going to go, and I don't know how to measure how this is going to go. And then, yeah, populate the glossary, delete fuzzy strings, make sure the language files exist. I think we just file an issue on this. In fact, let's just file the issue now for that. Do I already have something for this? What's going on? Steam. Create achievement, render, marketing, publishing, fully launch, UX, change. There's nothing about localizing. Oh, there it is. Localize the Steam page. Steam page itself should be localized, especially if the game itself is localized. There's some chatter about this. Either way, seems like the act of uploading translations is straightforward enough. Download the English JSON, which looks like this. So I assume we just plug in the strings correctly and we're good to go. Yeah, so then let's just copy all this stuff over there. Copy markdown. Okay, so I don't even know what these notes are. Could maybe hold off on this. Need a translation pipeline for this. And we need to make sure the demo is localized too, the demo page. Yeah. All right, so just save that. Maybe AI can crush those CSV files. We'll find out. Yeah, I'll probably try that this afternoon. So this should be done probably down here. Yeah, finding a font, we probably file an issue on this. Test what updating a string would look like. Make sure all languages exist. Probably do that first. Probably do that. Maybe take a look at that. I'm not actually sure how the glossary feature even works. How do you use that? I don't. Where's the glossary? What? Is it a component you have to add? Oh, there it is, glossary. All right, so how do you use this? Add term to glossary. Context, and then English. Oh, this is pretty nice. So does this go into a file somewhere? I should look this up a little bit. All right, so here's where we find this. Figure out what this is for. Is it just for translators to consult? Does it go into a file somewhere? Can you use glossary entries as variables? Oh man, if you could, this would actually be really interesting because I wouldn't need to parameterize this stuff in C#, but I guess, I don't know. Yeah. Should I put in the time to solve it or not? Probably not. Okay, so yeah, I gotta look into this. There was some other thing that struck me as I talked about this though, and then I just immediately forgot it. What was it? Oh yeah, modify the translator instructions. Modify the translation instructions to mention the glossary. It should also mention context, file name, and reaching out to Adam if there are any concerns. Testing the translations. You build, yeah. Okay, well, I think we can do a lot of this in the afternoon. And then what do I have for tomorrow? Yeah, roadmap for the rest of this stuff. So hopefully we could knock a lot of the localization stuff off the list. Need translators to help. Final cutscene of the game. We're working toward this stuff. Finish bone mode. Stabilize. Controller support. We probably bumped this up the list. Oh, man. So much to do. You know, what's kind of crazy to me, I experience this with playing games every once in a while. And I think one of the top ones on my list is Stardew Valley, where I had this experience where if I play it again, I'll go nuts if I have to max fishing the vanilla way. It's just, I've done this too many times. I never have fun. I'm like 3 days into doing it, and I'm always like, how many more days do I have before I'm done with this? And yet, inevitably, I've started up another file, and I'm like, okay, well, this time's the last time. I'm never doing this again. And with game dev, I think it's the same thing playing out, where if you know what the process is like, you know the amount of pain and sweat and tears go into game dev. And then at some point you're like, but I want to make a new game. And then you start that process again. And yeah. So I will have to think about that for the next game that I do. I'm going to fill this out. An ad break is about to start in 20 seconds, but you're not missing anything. I'm going to end the stream very shortly thereafter. After filling out the journal. So thank you all for watching. Thanks for being here. In fact, let's just save this for the afternoon. Yeah, I'll stop before the ad break. All right, I'll be back in about an hour. I'm going to take my lunch break. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here. See ya.